Australia's rate of childhood asthma has risen from 10% in the 1970s to around 30% today. It's one of the highest rates of childhood asthma in the world, and asthma is the leading cause of school absence.
Asthma is different from other food intolerance symptoms because most asthmatics react to only 1 or 2 food additives.
I had asthma, and since we've just removed a lot of the additives and preservatives from our diet, it's just no longer an issue at all. I don't need any preventers or puffers.
About 20% of asthmatics are affected by salicylates, and they will need to consider a full elimination diet. But for the majority of asthmatic children, it can be ridiculously easy to get rid of asthma just by avoiding additives. You can see what happened when Jamie Oliver introduced fresh, natural, additive-free meals in London schools.
A month in, 5,000 kids in 15 schools are being served Jamie's dinners. And staff are already noticing some surprising changes.
A lot of improvement behaviour-wise. Their reading, writing, concentration's really come up, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is actually. They're calm, they get on with their work. And normally afternoons,
See, for
they
me,
lose concentration, but they're still carrying on working.
Well, every day I used to come in and use the asthma pumps at lunchtime
What, so
on children who needed them.
Right, so all the kids that needed asthma,
We've got,
and you're in charge of that?
yeah, and I've not used them since.
What?
No, I've not used an asthma pump since we started.
Not only has behaviour improved, but health has improved as well. Unbelievable. I'm totally dumbfounded. At a primary school with little kids, you just change the food and then you don't have to be ramming all those chemicals and drugs down them. You know, if the government's going to carry on ignoring these things because they don't want to add another 10p or 15p to a plate or invest in training dinner ladies, then surely that's just an endorsement saying that the government don't give a shit about our kids at all.
So that's what happened at Wingfield Primary School. As soon as the school dinners changed, students stopped needing asthma medication. The question is, why don't asthmatics make the connection themselves? And the answer is, most people don't see the connection between what they eat and how they are affected unless they see a reaction within 30 minutes. When asthmatic children eat or drink certain additives, their airways can be irritated with no obvious symptoms. The asthma doesn't happen until they are exposed to an external trigger, such as exercise or a virus. The external trigger gets the blame, but if you remove the additives from the diet, then these kids can be exposed to the external triggers and they won't get asthma.
Since about 18 months of age, he's had asthma on and off. And it took us a while to work out what was going on, but one of the things that was happening was every time he ate dried fruit, 3 or 4 days later, he'd be sensitive to things. So if he had a chest infection, he'd get an asthma attack where normally he wouldn't. If it had a cold snap in the middle of the night, like around springtime, he'd have an asthma attack, starting out coughing, just as a cough, and then it would develop into a full-blown asthma attack. And we realised that if we could keep the dried fruit and the sulfites out of his diet, a lot of these problems would go away.
Sulfite preservatives are the additives most likely to affect asthmatics. As you can see, these are all foods eaten frequently by young children who also have the highest rates of asthma. Other additives that can affect asthmatics include benzoate preservatives in drinks and medication, including asthma medication, and this is something that some doctors are starting to complain about. But it takes many years for findings in medical journals to make a difference to what consumers can buy, and that's why you have to be an informed consumer.